You stand in a crowded subway car on a Tuesday morning, balancing your morning coffee in one hand. You look down at the person sitting across from you, wearing a designer jacket and pristine sneakers. Resting on their lap isn't a leather handbag or a high-end luxury briefcase. It is a canvas bag featuring a simple embroidered logo of a suburban grocery store. You see another one hanging over the shoulder of a college student walking past a coffee shop. You spot a third one resting on the seat of an expensive convertible idling at a red light. You might think this is just a convenient way to transport organic sourdough and oat milk, but the real answer is far stranger than simple convenience. Why has a $3 grocery bag become the most unexpected status symbol of the 21st century? Think about the last time you bought something to show the world who you are. You probably imagine a sleek smartphone, a tailored coat, or a luxury watch. You expect prestige to carry a heavy price tag. You expect expensive items to scream wealth and exclusivity, yet millions of people are actively seeking out a cheap piece of heavy-duty cotton canvas. They stand in line at 7 in the morning outside grocery stores. They pay marked up prices on secondary resale platforms like eBay and Mercari. They trade them like rare basketball cards in online forums. How did a utilitarian item meant for carrying soup cans become a global obsession? To understand this phenomenon, you have to look past the fabric and look into human psychology. You are not just carrying groceries when you shoulder that tote. You are broadcasting a complex set of hidden social signals to everyone around you. In the late 19th century, sociologist Thorstein Veblen studied how humans display their social standing. He coined the term conspicuous consumption to explain why people spent lavish amounts of money on visible luxury goods. Veblen observed that people buy expensive items not for their practical utility, but to signal power and leisure to their peers. For over a century, that rule governed modern society. If you wanted to signal success, you bought the most expensive version of an object you could find. You wanted the logo to be bold, you wanted the price tag to be obvious. Do you still believe that high price tags are the only way humans show off? By the late 20th century, the rules of status began to shift dramatically. Sociologist Pierre Bourdieu introduced the concept of cultural capital to explain how society creates new hierarchies. Bourdieu argued that social status isn't just how much money you spend, it is about what you know, what you appreciate, and how tasteful you navigate culture. Cultural capital is invisible wealth. It is a subtle flex of knowing the right film, the right coffee roast, or the right neighborhood bakery. When you carry an expensive luxury handbag, you signal economic capital, but when you carry a specific grocery tote, you signal that you belong to a particular cultural in-group. You tell the world that you are effortless, understand, and tuned in to a very specific lifestyle. Consider how you feel when you walk into a traditional luxury boutique. The floors are polished marble, the sales staff stands in formal attire, the prices are hidden or displayed in quiet, subtle typography. Everything about the environment is designed to create friction and intimidation. Now compare that to the environment of Trader Joe's. You walk through automatic doors into a bright room decorated with hand-painted wood signs and nautical motif. Employees wear Hawaiian shirts and greet you with a genuine casual warmth. The aisles are intentionally narrow, creating a bustling, vibrant neighborhood market atmosphere. You are not treated like an elite customer being evaluated for your net worth. You are treated like an insider stumbling upon a neighborhood secret. In his research on consumer behavior, economist Dan Ariely explored how human decisions are shaped by predictable irrationality. Most supermarkets carry over 30,000 distinct product items to give you the illusion of unlimited choice. They fill entire aisles with 40 different brands of cereal and 50 varieties of olive oil. Trader Joe's does the exact opposite. They stock roughly 4,000 items, and nearly 80% of them carry their own private label. Why does having fewer choices make you feel more satisfied with your purchase? When you face 40 choices of olive oil, your brain experiences cognitive fatigue. You worry about making the wrong decision, and you leave the store feeling slightly uncertain. When a store curates three different distinct choices of olive oil, the burden of decision making vanishes. You trust that the curators have already tested the options for you. By eliminating the paralysis of choice, the store builds a deep sense of trust with you. You shop feeling like a customer being sold a product. You start feeling like a member of a curated club. That sense of belonging transforms a store logo into an emblem of identity. When the store introduced its simple canvas tote bag, it wasn't trying to launch a fashion brand. It created a durable, reusable product to align with growing environmental awareness. It cost under $3 to produce and buy, but because the store had already built a culture of curated trust, the bag became an extension of that culture. In her groundbreaking research on status signaling, Harvard Business School professor Silvia Bellezza studied how modern consumers use quiet, non-conforming items to signal high status. Bellezza identified a phenomenon known as the red sneaker effect, when an individual deliberately breaks a conventional dress code or displays a humble item in a high-stakes environment. Observers perceive them as more competent and higher status. A wealthy executive wearing bright red sneakers to a formal gala signals that they are powerful enough to ignore traditional rules. The simple canvas tote operates on this exact psychological mechanism. When you carry a $3 grocery bag into a high-end cafe or professional office, you are engaging in counter signaling. You show you don't need to carry a $1,000 leather bag to prove your worth. You are confident enough to carry a humble piece of canvas. The bag acts as a subtle whisper rather than a loud scream. It signals that you value practicality, sustainability, and authentic culture over ostentatious displays of wealth. Then came the spring of 2024, when something unexpected happened to the humble tote. The company released a limited edition mini version of their signature canvas bag. It came in 4 simple accent colors: blue, red, green, and yellow. It was priced at just $2.99. Within hours of hitting the shelves, chaos erupted across the country. Lines wrapped around city blocks before sunrise. Stores instituted strict limits of the 4 bags per customers. Entire displays were cleaned out in under 2 minutes. On secondary markets, the $2 tote bags were listed for hundreds of dollars. How did a tiny, inexpensive bag trigger a frenzy usually reserved for rare sneakers and high fashion drops? Wharton's marketing professor, Jonah Berger, spent years analyzing why certain products and ideas go viral. In his research on social contagion, Berger identified scarcity and observability as key drivers of viral demand. When an item is easily observable in public spaces, it constantly reminds people of its existence. When that visible item becomes scarce, your brain reinterprets its value instantly. You no longer evaluate the object based on its material worth. You evaluate it based on the difficulty of obtaining it. In a world saturated with mass production and digital noise, traditional luxury has lost some of its magical pull. Anyone with a credit card can lease an expensive car or buy a branded shirt, but possessing a subtle cultural capital requires nuance, timing, and alignment with a specific vibe. The canvas tote bag bridges the gap between hyper-consumerism and anti-consumerism. It allows you to participate in a shopping trend while pretending to stand above consumerism itself. It gives you permission to be a collector without feeling guilty and spending vast sums of money. It is the ultimate expression of modern quiet luxury for the everyday shopper. Tomorrow morning, you will walk out your front door and enter the public world. You will gather your keys, your phone, and your daily belongings. You will reach into the closet or grab a handle hanging on the doorway. As you slide that canvas strap over your shoulder, you might tell yourself you are just carrying a convenient bag to hold your lunch. But as you step out on the train, walk through the office lobby, or stroll down the street, you will look across the crowd. You will see someone else carrying the exact same embroidered canvas strap. You will exchange a brief, silent glance of mutual recognition. You will know in a world of endless choices and constant noise, you both understand the secret language of the $3 bag. You will realize that you were never just carrying groceries in the first place. You were carrying a tiny piece of identity. And as you stand in the morning light, waiting for your train, you look down at the person sitting across from you. You notice their canvas bag resting on their lap, lights reflecting off the simple cotton fabric. You don't think twice about it, but deep down, you know the real answer is far stranger.